Right, so airborne from Dublin on board our private King Air 250. How flipping cool is this? Started our descent down into Gamston. There you go, words I never expected to be saying. Well, hello and good morning from Dublin in Ireland, and today I'm going to say the words I never thought I'd be able to say. We've chartered a private jet.
Yay!
The first step today then was to the private terminal here at Dublin, also known as the Platinum Services Suite. All private aircraft arrive and leave from here. It was great to be able to hand over the baggage trolley to let the professionals have a go. Well, that went well, didn't it? But never mind, at least we were able to head inside to relax for a bit before our aircraft arrived.
Do you need to see anything?
Perfect. Thank you. Perfect, thank you. There you go. Thank you. So the story of how we ended up getting a private jet is quite a long one, involving cancelled flights and rescheduled flights, and effectively ending up working out cheaper for us to take a private jet from here in Dublin back to our local airfield in the UK, and that's exactly what we're doing today. So we've got a King Air on the way. It's just taken off and it's heading over to Dublin now to come and pick us up, and we're here in the Signature Aviation Suite here at Dublin. Say hello everybody. And it's almost time to head home. Alright, they've just told us that the plane's here and it's time for us to go and get on board. Excited? Excited?
Yes, Mr.
Excited,
Tato,
Sam?
come on. Yeah, Tato.
Mr. Tato.
Tato.
Alright, let's roll.
Got everything?
There is still a security check here at Dublin, even for private aircraft. It's pretty simple though, no restrictions on liquids, and you just have to make sure that you have them all together in the same
I
bag.
suppose it's the benefit of not being on an airliner, isn't it? You can just chuck it all in and just chuck it all in.
Good to know for the next time, you know?
Yeah.
That's okay. Thank you.
It's got whiskey and all sorts in it,
All
so
the
yeah,
good
just,
stuff.
yeah, to make sure it gets on the plane.
Go ahead, yeah. I'm just going to check it.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Left that row for you, me dad.
Off to the plane. Very smooth experience here at Dublin.
Our ride back to the UK today then was this Beech King Air 250, originally delivered new in 2017.
That's us, it's our aeroplane, a private aeroplane that's taking us back to England. Excited?
Yes.
Excited? Yes, yes, yes. Who did you say we're going to be, Sam? Who did you say you felt like?
Like Joe Biden or something.
You feel like Joe Biden, Air Force
Think
One.
about the colours.
It's very similar colours to Air Force One, isn't it? It's a King Air 250. It's about 4 years old or something, I think. It's very
That's
cool.
not very old at all.
Are you going to stand at the top of the steps and wave as you get on and go?
Or wave like backwards. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And wave at everybody watching, and then on we go. Here we go.
And then just...
Wait there, Anna, please. Hi there, you alright? Alright, thanks, how are you? Good. Okay, that's fine. You're alright, bring up the rear, Phil. What's to do? Alright. Yeah. Cool.
Just let Phil sit.
Is there any overhead bins?
No.
No.
There's no overhead lockers, Sam, no.
How do you dim them?
Once everyone was on board, it was time to get on our way back to the UK. Our route back home today then took us east out of Dublin to cross the Irish Sea, North Wales and Northern England, landing into Retford Gamston in Nottinghamshire. Flight time today was 57 minutes, cruising at 19,000 feet.
Right, so airborne from Dublin on board our private King Air 250. How flipping cool is this? We're all on board. About an hour's flight time now. We're actually flying to our very local airfield of Retford Gamston. It's the airfield that I fly from on my pilot vlogs channel, which I'll pop a link up on the screen to, in case you're not already a viewer or a subscriber of that channel. But it's like 10-15 minutes from our house, so it makes so much more sense to be able to fly directly back from Dublin to Gamston. And I'll let you know in a little while about how this has worked out and how we've ended up being on a bloody private jet. I mean, this is insane. Or a private prop, should I say, before anybody says, although it is a jet, it's a turboprop. Pedantics, knock yourselves out in the comments anyway. It's a beautiful, beautiful aircraft. It's about 4 years old, seats 6 people, and at the back of the cabin there is a like a toilet down at the back in that little bit there as well, which can be converted into a 7th seat for somebody who wants to sit like a dunce for a couple of hours or whatever. But we've got these nice leather white seats, white leather seats. We've got drinks down here ready. These blinds actually are really cool. You can do, they're like Dreamliner blinds. You press the button and the windows go blue. Very cool indeed, very cool indeed. And of course, the best thing of everything about flying in a private jet for an aviation geek is the fact that I can sit right just here with the pilots right behind me, flying us over back to the UK. It's a really comfortable little plane, and looking forward to getting back to Gamston, but I'm actually looking forward to enjoying the ride over there first. So then, in brief, the story about how we ended up being able to get a private jet and it working out cheaper than flying commercially. Essentially, when we take a flight on a long-haul destination, we tend to fly from Dublin, generally because it is a lot cheaper than flying from the UK. We don't have to pay passenger duty or anything like that, and the flights generally are a lot cheaper when you fly from Ireland as opposed to the UK. When you book these flights, you just have to tack on a cheeky Ryanair or Aer Lingus flight over from East Midlands or Birmingham to Dublin, and there you go, you've got your really cheap airfare. Now, the problem we had is our Aer Lingus flight back to Birmingham was rescheduled to 6 o'clock this morning, which meant that we would then have, there's no flights tomorrow, so it would mean that we would have a 2-day wait in Ireland before we could get home. In part due to the fact that Stobart Air have gone bust and all the rest of it, we kind of would have been a bit stranded. We looked at changing our Air Canada flight to come back to the UK, and they wanted a whopping £12,000, so £2,000 each for all 6 of us to fly back to the UK. And my response to that: how about no? So essentially we looked into booking a private jet or a private aircraft to take us back to our really super local airport of Retford Gamston in Nottinghamshire, which is like 15-20 minutes from our house. And that's what we ended up doing. I'll let you know the price at the end, but it was, let me just tell you, it was a heck of a lot cheaper than paying the price that United wanted to send us back to the UK. And here we are on a private jet, or a private aircraft heading back across the Irish Sea to the UK. I mean, how cool is this? This beats an Aer Lingus A320, doesn't it? Let's face it. Now, I know a lot of people are probably interested in how you actually go about booking a private jet. I mean, there's several ways you can do it. A lot of people like these empty leg things where you can sort of go on and book an empty leg on a private jet, which is all very well if they've got a private jet going where you want to go.
for us, obviously, there was no empty leg on this specific routing from Dublin to Gamston on this specific date at this specific time, so we had to go through something called a broker, and they effectively go away, get you a load of quotes and prices for different private jets, and they handle everything. The company we used was called JetApp. There's loads of them out there, and they effectively came back with a list of private jets that we could have had, and you choose the registration and the type of aircraft that you want from the list that they give you, and then it's all just done for you, and all we had to do was just sort of turn up to the general aviation terminal at Dublin, and we'll have to do the same at the other end and just like rock off the plane, get into the car and head home. It's really, really simple, and I suppose for the people who are doing this regularly, that's the key to this. It's so much easier just to be able to rock up to the airport, jump on the plane, jump off the plane, and then get to where you need to be. There's no airports to deal with or anything like that. It's really, really easy, and that's effectively how it works. Now, there is no denying at all that this is an incredibly convenient way to travel if it works for you. And I have to say, in all my time travelling around the world, this is the first time that the precise set of circumstances have lined up to make hiring a plane the more practical alternative over commercial. The convenience, the cost, and of course that there's 6 of us to share it, all made it the more practical and cheaper alternative to changing our flights, where we'd still have a massive bill and a costly and time-consuming trip back from London. Alright, so started our descent down into Gamston. There you go, words I never expected to be saying on board an aircraft like this. Started our descent down into Gamston. We'll be on the ground in a few minutes. So cool just sitting here watching the pilots do what they do. I mean, private jets are lost on me because I just sit here watching the pilots for the entire flight. But it's all good. You having a good time, Sam?
Yes.
You enjoying the private jet? You enjoying the private jet experience?
Yes.
Awesome.
You're holding the microphone like an interviewer, you know, like when the...
Indeed. For Channel News 6 at 5, this is Noel Phillips. Our flight back from Dublin today then cost us just over £800 each, working out to a cost of £3.79 a mile. Even when you add this to the cost of our flight across the Atlantic from the USA, it still works out at less than £1,500 each for the whole journey, including the long haul bit in business class, which for me still represents pretty decent value for money, to say we arrived just 10 minutes from home. Either way, on this day and in these particular circumstances, it made perfect sense to do this, but put it this way, I don't think I'll be giving up on Ryanair anytime soon. Oh, thank you very much. It is. Yeah, exactly. Hey? Oh, thank you. So then back at Gamston after our nice little ride in this cool little aircraft down here, this King Air 250. What did you reckon? What did you reckon, Rich?
It was nice, and I can tick it off my list, but the next private jet's got to be one of the big jets with, you know, the sofas and everything.
So you want like a Gulf? We're not going to get a Gulfstream into Gamston, Rach.
Oh, maybe not.
I hate to break that, and also you've got a long way to go before we can afford a Gulfstream. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Let us know what you thought to it down in the comments. The good thing about this now is that we've got like a 10-15 minute drive home from here, so we're just hanging around here a minute waiting for the taxi, and then we'll be home really quickly, which is another cool thing because clearly we live very close to a smaller airfield like this than we would to somewhere like Birmingham or East Midlands maybe, so that's the other great thing about it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought to it down in the comments below. In the meantime, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.